Around the world, many countries are heavily reliant on wheat imports, and prices have long been high. But Russia's invasion of Ukraine has triggered another price shock. Currently, a tonne of wheat is at well over 300 euros, peaking at a record 450 euros just recently and only coming down somewhat since then. Russia and Ukraine are major producers and among the world's leading exporters. Close to a third of global wheat exports come from Russia and Ukraine. The wheat goes mainly to the Middle East, Turkey and China via the Black Sea port of Odessa, which has been under attack. So the war's disrupted logistics chains. Farmers are joining the fight, so the next harvest is uncertain. Some of those who've stayed behind can't use heavy machinery with shrapnel in their fields. All bad news for places like Lebanon.
Pita bread like this is a crucial part of the day for people in Lebanon. It's often known as the loaf of the poor because it has always been affordable for everyone. But now, things look different. Prices have shot up over the last couple of years of economic instability. And now, people are scared the war in Ukraine could make things even worse.
People are panicking. They are rushing to buy bread. Those who usually buy a bag are buying 4 or 5 instead. In the afternoon, we even see some bakeries that run out of bread, and you sometimes see queues in other bakeries like we had during the war.
These people are at the sharp end of a compound crisis. A country in economic collapse pays with foreign currency to import wheat amid global inflation, and now there's war in Ukraine.
Before October 2019, this bag of pita bread cost £1,500, and that was the fixed price. I have just bought this for £11,000. The price rise is mainly due to Lebanon's ongoing political and economic crisis. But now, global events are playing a part too. The price of wheat, and therefore flour, and therefore bread, is rising around the world because one of the biggest wheat producers is Ukraine. The war there is putting Lebanon in a difficult situation.
Wheat importers are looking towards places like France and Germany. Some are even looking towards the United States. But all those options are further away than Ukraine, meaning greater transport costs.
Ever since the private sector started importing wheat, it was always from the countries around the Black Sea, mainly Ukraine and Russia. The last 2 years, we imported 80% of our wheat from Ukraine. It's a global crisis that is affecting importing countries. Because of the inflation in wheat and fuel, it will affect wheat prices, its transportation, and it will reflect on bread prices.
The 2020 explosion that wrecked Beirut port destroyed the huge silos that held up to 4 months' worth of grain. Currently, there's enough wheat for a month. If people can no longer afford the loaf of the poor, hunger and political instability will follow.